you mentioned Cream, Eric Clapton. I love your take on Politician because, well, for a lot of reasons, but one, you don't really lean on the riff that hard.
Right. It's
Yeah.
a great riff. Crazy great riff.
Yeah. So how did you come upon the idea of doing that song, but not like everybody who covers that song would lean on the riff?
Okay. And in terms of my home team, I forgot Bob Reynolds. Bob Reynolds
Oh, mm-hmm.
was also there for most of the tracking. So
Right.
when we started to do that song, like I just love Ginger Baker's swing on the original version. Is like nobody swings that way, and it's not that he's swinging hard. It's just like a particular kind of
Yeah.
swing that he does that nobody does. So I wanted to do it like that, and no one else had heard the song, so I played them the version kind of up. I think Sean may have heard it. So I played
Mm.
it for everybody, and I was like, yeah, the swing goes like this, and we tried it a few times. And Bob, who wasn't playing on the track, got on the talkback, and he was like, man, he's like, nobody's right hand does what your right hand does. Why don't you do that thing that you do? And I was like, I don't
Yeah.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And he was like, just that kind of when you do your funk thing, like, I was like, like this? And he's like, yeah, that thing exactly. And so we started playing it in a way that's almost like come together mixed
Yeah.
with something else, and it didn't make sense. I didn't have room to play the riff because I was holding down sort of what the swing and dictating the groove of the song, and I had to hold that thing down and just depend on. Fortunately, Sean knew to not play the riff every time. He only plays it every once in a while,
Right.
and I'm really happy with the results. But given my druthers, it would have been a regurgitation of the original. I really love what ended up happening with it, and that was one that was the guitar that's on there was cut live on the floor, except for the kind of auto wah thing. So
Yeah.
the track that we played, where I was really just trying to give them the guide of how I wanted it to feel,
Yeah.
and that solo, which I think is on the right hand side, that's all kind of just one take on the floor. But that's all. That's thanks to Bob Reynolds.
Wow. I'm so glad you listened to Bob. Because he's that thing that you're describing, that kind of swing, uh, that was really striking when I listened to it this morning. I thought like, wow, I could spend an hour trying to get that, and it would take me a long, if I had to audition to be the guitar player in your band, so that you could just stand up front and like, not that that's ever going to happen, but you know what I mean? Like if I had to come in and like play
Play that part.
that the way you played it, play that part the way that you swing it with your right hand, I would, I don't think I could ever do it.
I mean, it's so funny, man. Over the years, it doesn't seem like that big of it. It's just how my heart beats, and like I know part of it is like Prince and Jesse Johnson. Like it
Yeah.
comes from that. Like I always say, like I want a guitar player that plays with me. I care more about the right hand than the left
Right.
hand.
Right.
But the swing thing that I do, it doesn't seem all that weird to me. But it's not. Everybody's heart doesn't beat that way.
Right.
So when I don't know. I think that's sort of a cool lesson. Like the thing that we all have something that we do that is like our sort of fingerprint, and finding what that thing is, and maybe not basing everything you do on that, but just knowing that we have these things. The way we feel. 2 and 4. It's all different.
Yeah. I love that as the takeaway of the having the experience of listening to something and thinking, oh wow, that's so different than how my heart beats. One takeaway is I suck at guitar, and I should think about doing something else. And your takeaway is just to appreciate that everybody has something like that they do that's so personal to them, and to appreciate your own thing, and also you can appreciate what other people are doing without feeling that they have something that you don't have or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It all. Yeah. Everybody's. You know. you see people that adore other musicians or actors or whatever, and I've said for a long time, people ask, who have you met that you were starstruck with, and I'm like, kind of not really anybody, not because I
Yeah.
think I'm so great, but I just feel like we all just everybody's got something that they do, um, that is special. Like something that I'm not a super religious person. I'm
Mm,
spiritual, and I just feel like we wouldn't be put on earth without some skill that we're supposed to use to sustain life. And mine just
mm,
happens to be this one thing. Like if an alien came from outer space, they would place no more value on me being able to play guitar or sing than they would someone that was able to make something with clay that what didn't exist before. It's all just
right.
a thing. So we all have something that is special, and it's great for me to aspire to. Some things I listen to and I just go, I love that thing, and other people I listen to and I go, oh, that's cool. I want to try to figure that out, but to find value in the thing that you do and sort of build upon that in a very sort of organic and sort of a I don't know, just sort of a spiritual musical conversation is that's where it's at.